In this lesson, we will cover how to manually expose images. Understanding this is key to operating cameras and ensures that you get the footage you need. Let's first overview on a high level the three basic components of exposure, which are aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Aperture affects how much is in focus in your frame and also how much light enters your camera. Shutter speed allows you to control how fast the camera's shutter opens and closes, which also affects the amount of light that is able to enter your camera. ISO refers to light sensitivity. The higher the number, the brighter the image, but with more noise and artifacts. ISO is usually the last of these three settings to be adjusted. So let's break down each of these components with more detail. The shutter speed setting is how fast the shutter opens and closes. This number is represented as a fraction of a second, 1 over x. The higher the second number, the faster the shutter mechanism. You want a faster shutter speed to freeze fast-moving subjects. We can test this out with running water. First, set your camera to 1 over 50 and take a photo. Then, adjust it to 1 over 400 and see what happens. At 1 over 50, the water is quite blurry because the camera shutter doesn't move fast enough. But at 1 over 400, because the shutter snaps faster, it's able to freeze the action. So that's basically shutter speed in a nutshell. Different circumstances will require for different shutter speeds. One general rule of thumb, if your camera and lens are not stabilized, when shooting handheld, it's best to keep your shutter speed to something faster, like 1 over 200, to prevent your image from becoming blurry due to your hands shaking. I had to learn this the hard way when I first started photography, as I was using shutter speeds of around 1 over 50, and I couldn't really figure out why my images would appear just a little bit blurry. So you can find out if your camera body is stabilized by searching it up online. While for lenses, you can know if you find the letters IS or OS denoted on the front element. You may have noticed that your image becomes darker when you make your shutter speed faster, unless your ISO was set to auto. I'll touch on ISO in a second, but first, why does the image become darker with a faster shutter speed? Well, the answer has to do with the amount of light hitting the sensor. At a faster shutter speed, less light is able to enter the camera, making your image darker. At slower shutter speeds, there's more time for the light to enter your camera, which makes your image brighter.